weight. I see you in prosperity, but I fear for you the punishment of a day that will encompass all of you. So this was the message, the main message of Shuaib alayhi salam to his people, Madian. Ibrahim alayhi salam, most people know very well that he was married to Sarah radiallahu anha, and then he was married to Hajra radiallahu anha. But many people do not know that he had another wife as well, a third wife. And the third wife was called Qatura. So he was married to Sarah radiallahu anha, who was from, with whom he lived in Palestine, and that's where he died. And he was married to Hajra radiallahu anha, with whom he lived in Makkah. And in between Makkah and Palestine, there was another place where Ibrahim alayhi salam married a woman called Qatura. That was the name of that woman. And he had children with her as well. As a matter of fact, the most children that Ibrahim alayhi salam had were from Qatura. There were 6 children that he had. One of those 6 was Madian. That was the name of the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So it was Madian bin Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Madian was the one who lived in this place that was named after him later, which is called Madian. So in immediate lineage, there was no prophet of Allah in that family. In Ibrahim alayhi salam's family, from Sarah radiallahu anha, Ishaq alayhi salam was the prophet of Allah. In his family from Hajra radiallahu anha, Ismail alayhi salam was the prophet of Allah. But in his family from Qatura, the 6 children that he had, none of them were prophets of Allah. But later, many generations later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Shuaib alayhi salam from the family of Ibrahim alayhi salam to be the prophet for these people. And Shuaib alayhi salam was born in this town. He grew up in this town. He lived among these people. He was no foreigner to them. So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِلَى مَدْيَنَ أَخَاهُمْ شُعَيْبًا. To Madian we sent their brother Shuaib. So he was a brother to them, like a brother, because he was a family. He lived there, he was born there. All of them were connected in that way. So these people, they were known to be very business-minded. But among the business practices that they had, they used to cheat people. They were big cheaters. And the way they would cheat people, when they had to give something, when they were selling something, they would always try to play with the weights and with the measurements. So if it's 1 kilogram, they would have the weight as 1 kilogram. It would say 1 kilogram, but from inside it would be less. So the person who's buying, he's thinking that this guy is selling me 1 kilogram of dates. In reality, it's not 1 kilogram. It's probably 3/4, or a little more than 3/4, or a little less than full kilogram. They wouldn't understand. The buyer doesn't get this kind of cheating. The seller knows very well. And an unfortunate and sad reality is that in many Muslim countries, this is how many business owners cheat people. In America, alhamdulillah, we have the Department of Measures, right? That's why when you go to the gas station, you see the sticker on every pump. The inspector comes to every pump, checks the measurements, and then verifies it, and then gives the certificate that this pump is verified. This pump is not cheating. In our countries, we don't even have that. In our countries, you run your own. There is no inspection, there is no verification, there is no certification. You can tell people it's 1 kilogram and people will have to believe it, because they're not going to bring another weight and compare it and see whether you're telling the truth or lying. So people of Shuaib alayhi salam, they were experts. They actually invented these practices, the practices of cheating. So when they were selling goods, they would try to cheat in weight by giving less than what they were supposed to. But when it was time for them to take the goods from other people, the traders from outside who would come to these towns and sell their goods, they would make sure that they're getting the full scale, they're getting the full measurements. So this is something really bad in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't understand the extent how bad it is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, Allah sent Shuaib alayhi salam to these people, and one of his main messages, one of his main points of da'wah was this message: وَلَا تَنْقُصُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ وَلَا تَنْقُصُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ أَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ أَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ أَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَلَا تَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُخْسِرِينَ وَلَا تَكُونُوا مِنَ وَقْسُطُوا. This was one of the main messages of Shuaib alayhi salam. This is how serious this is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you, when you are giving, you give in full, and when you're taking, you take in full. You be balanced on both sides. You be not like those people who, when it comes to taking, they take full. When it comes to giving, they give half. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in another surah. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ. Woe to those who are guilty of tatfif. What is tatfif? الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. When they have to take something from people, they take it in full. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. And when they have to give something as a measurement of weight or as a measurement of scale, they give less. They cheat. So the people of Shuaib alayhi salam were known for their cheating practice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them this warning that do not do that. إِنِّي أَرَاكُمْ بِخَيْرٍ. Shuaib alayhi salam also said that I see you that you are in prosperity. It's not like you are in drought, you are in famine, you're dying. You're in prosperity, you're well off. Why are you doing this cheating now? وَإِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ مُحِيطٍ. And I fear for you the adab of a day that will encompass all of you. وَيَا قَوْمِ أَوْفُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ. O my people, give full measure and weight in justice. وَلَا تَبْخَسُوا النَّاسَ أَشْيَاءَهُمْ. And do not deprive the people of their due. وَلَا تَعْثَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ مُفْسِدِينَ. And do not commit abuse on the earth, spreading corruption. بَقِيَّةُ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. That which is left by Allah for you after giving the rights of the people is better for you if you are believers. وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ. And I am not set over you as a guardian. I'm not going to watch you. I'm not going to inspect you in every single transaction. And I'm not going to stand over your shoulders all the time to make sure that you're doing justice, that you're fulfilling the measurements, that you're doing the right thing. I cannot. It is Allah who's watching you, and you are held accountable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His people said to him, قالوا يا شعيب. O Shuaib, أصلاتك تأمرك أن نترك ما يعبد آباؤنا. Does your salah, which you offer, your prayer, does your salah command that we leave off what our fathers used to worship? So they were worshipping idols. We also worship idols. So does your salah tell you that we should leave off the worship of idols? أو أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء. Or that we leave off doing what we like with our property, with our wealth. We like to do business like this. Leave us alone. إِنَّكَ لَأَنْتَ الْحَلِيمُ الرَّشِيدُ. Verily, you are the forebearer and you are a smart person. You're a very wise and smart person. Then leave us alone. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِن كُنْتُ عَلَى بَيِّنَةٍ مِّن رَبِّي. He said, O my people, tell me, if I have a clear sign from my Lord, وَرَزَقَنِي مِنْهُ رِزْقًا حَسَنًا, and my Lord has given me good sustenance, وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أُخَالِفَكُمْ إِلَى مَا أَنْهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ, and I do not wish in opposition to you to do that which I forbid you to do. إِنْ أُرِيدُ إِلَّا الْإِصْلَاحَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُ. I only wish the good for you to the best of my ability. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And my success can only come from Allah. عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب. In Allah I trust, and in Allah, to Allah I return. ويا قوم لا يجرمنكم شقاقي أن يصيبكم مثل ما أصاب قوم نوح أو قوم هود أو قوم صالح وما قوم لوط منكم ببعيد. And O my people, let not my shiqaq, my descent from you, cause you to sin, lest you suffer a fate similar to that of the people of Nuh or of Hud or of Salih, nor are the people of Lut far from you. I will show you in a few minutes the map where these people were, the people of Shuaib alayhi salam. In terms of time, they come long after Ibrahim alayhi salam and long after Lut alayhi salam. So definitely long after Hud alayhi salam, long after Salih alayhi salam, and long after Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam is the first of all these, and then Hud alayhi salam, and then Salih alayhi salam. So the people of Nuh alayhi salam, people of Hud alayhi salam, people of Salih alayhi salam, and then people of Lut alayhi salam. All these four names that he mentioned, Shuaib alayhi salam, they're the names of those nations that were destroyed, completely destroyed. People of Nuh alayhi salam completely destroyed. People of Hud alayhi salam completely destroyed. People of Salih alayhi salam completely destroyed. And people of Lut alayhi salam completely destroyed. He's reminding them that if you continue to do what you're doing, probably you will suffer the same fate as those people suffered. The people of Nuh alayhi salam, people of Salih alayhi salam, people of Hud alayhi salam, and the people of Lut alayhi salam. وَمَا قَوْمُ لُوطٍ مِنْكُمْ بِبَعِيدٍ. And the people of Lut are not far from you. Madian geographically is not too far from Dead Sea. And Dead Sea is where Lut alayhi salam's people lived. So he's reminding them that you don't have to go too far to learn a lesson. Learn a lesson from the towns of Lut alayhi salam where they lived, and look what happened to them because of the sins that they were committing. وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ. And seek forgiveness from your Lord. ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. And then repent to Him. إِنَّ رَبِّي رَحِيمٌ وَدُودٌ. Surely my Lord is most merciful, and He's very, very affectionate and loving kindness. قَالُوا يَا شُعَيْبُ. They said, O Shuaib, مَا نَفْقَهُ كَثِيرًا مِمَّا تَقُولُ. We do not understand much of that which you say. وَإِنَّا لَنَرَاكَ فِينَا ضَعِيفًا. And we see that you are weak amongst us. We can easily take over you. We can easily kill you. We can easily harm you. You are weak amongst us. وَلَوْلَا رَهْتُكَ لَرَجَمْنَاكَ. It is yours tribe that is protecting you. If your tribe was not between you and us, we would have killed you long ago. We would have stoned you. وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْنَا بِعَزِيزٍ. And you are not in any position of strength over us. This is the kind of response they're giving to Shuaib alayhi salam. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ. Shuaib alayhi salam said to them, O my people, أَرَهْتِي عَزُّ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ. Is my family, my tribe, more respected for power by you than Allah? You honor my tribe more than what you honor Allah. وَاتَّخَذْتُمُوهُ وَرَاءَكُمْ ظِهْرِيًّا. And you have put Allah behind your backs. إِنَّ رَبِّي بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ. Surely my Lord knows very well all that you do. He encompasses all that you do. وَيَا قَوْمِ اعْمَلُوا عَلَى مَكَانَتِكُمْ إِنِّي عَامِلٌ. And O my people, continue doing what you're doing and stay in your place. إِنِّي عَامِلٌ. I will continue doing what I'm doing. سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Soon you will know مَنْ يَأْتِهِ عَذَابٌ يُخْزِيهِ. To whom will come the adhab of Allah that will disgrace him. وَمَنْ هُوَ كَاذِبٌ. And who's a liar. وَارْتَقِبُوا إِنِّي مَعَكُمْ رَقِيبٌ. And wait, because I'm waiting with you. We're waiting for that moment. وَلَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا نَجَّيْنَا شُعَيْبًا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ بِرَحْمَةٍ مِنَّا وَأَخَذَتِ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا الصَّيْحَةُ فَأَصْبَحُوا فِي دِيَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ. And when our command came, we saved Shuaib and those who believed with him by mercy from us. And those who did the zulm, those who did the wrong, they were seized by the scream, by the sound of the loud scream. فَأَصْبَحُوا فِي دِيَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ, and they became within their homes corpses fallen prone. كَأَن لَّمْ يَغْنَوْا فِيهَا, as if they never existed. After the day of adab, if you went to their towns, you would see and you would feel that nobody ever lived here. كَأَن لَّمْ يَغْنَوْا فِيهَا, as if they were never there. أَلَا بُعْدًا لِمَدْيَنَ كَمَا بَعِدَ ثَمُودَ, away with the Madian as Thamud was taken away. Woe to the people of Madian, as was the case of the people of Thamud. So these were the stories that we learned in this chapter, Surah Huud. After this, there's no story mentioned. There's a brief mention of Musa alayhi salam, but very brief. There's no story mentioned. And then the surah will proceed towards the ending, inshallah. But these were the stories that were mentioned here, starting from the story of Nuh alayhi salam, then Hud alayhi salam, and then Salih alayhi salam, and then Ibrahim alayhi salam, and then Lut alayhi salam, and then finally closing with the story of Shuaib alayhi salam. Let me quickly show you some of the slides, inshallah. This first picture is showing an aerial picture of the Dead Sea, Al-Bahr al-Mayyit. And that's where Lut alayhi salam's people lived. It's not a massive body of water, but the location that this encompasses is the location where the 7 towns of the people of Lut alayhi salam were. And if you see over here, it says Al-Quds. This is Jerusalem. Al-Quds is the Arabic name for Jerusalem. In some times it was called Iliya, but nowadays it's called Al-Quds. And for a long time it has been called Al-Quds. This is Jerusalem. So you can see Jerusalem is not too far from here. And Ibrahim alayhi salam did not live in Jerusalem. Ibrahim alayhi salam lived in Nablus, which is not too far from Al-Quds. It's somewhere over here where you see the cursor. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was not too far from the nations of Lut alayhi salam, where his nations lived. This is another picture of the map. And this is Hadramaut. This is where the people of Hud alayhi salam lived, Aad. And in Quran, they are known as the first Aad, and the people of Salih alayhi salam are known as the second Aad. So these people are known as Al-Aad and Al-Ula, and people of Salih alayhi salam are known as Al-Aad and Al-Thaniya. So this is in Yemen. And this over here, you can see on this corner right here on the bottom, these are the places where people of Hud alayhi salam lived, Aad, and this is Makkah in between. And then this is where the people of Salih alayhi salam lived. This is Madain Salih, which is near Tabuk, not too far from Khaybar, and from Madinatul Munawwara, it's about 500 kilometers. This picture I was talking about is the picture of a pillar-like structure that's right on the shores of the Dead Sea. And people believe that this is the wife of Lut alayhi salam. We don't know, we don't attest to that, we don't know exactly whether it is true or false, but this is what people believe, that it is the wife of Lut alayhi salam that turned into stone and that stands like this. So this is another map picture where you see Madain Salih, and the towns of Salih alayhi salam are also known as Al-Hijr. In Quran, there's a surah that's called Surah Al-Hijr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ كَذَّبَ أَصْحَابُ الْحِجْرِ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. The people of stones, they denied the messengers. They refused the messengers. And the people of Hijr are also the people of Salih alayhi salam, also known as Thamud. So this is, and it's not too far from Medina. This is another aerial picture of the map. So Aad were here in Yemen area. Current day Yemen, Ar-Rub' al-Khali is right here. The empty quarter desert, one of the deadliest deserts in the world. And Thamud were over here. Makkah is right here. And then Madian is right here. So Madian is actually between the place of Salih alayhi salam and between the place of Lut alayhi salam. Madian is right here. That's why Shuaib alayhi salam said to them, وَمَا قَوْمُ لُوطٍ مِّنْكُمْ بِبَعِيدٍ. And the place of Lut is not too far from you. The place of the people of Lut alayhi salam is not too far from you. This is an aerial picture of Madain Salih in Medina, in Saudi Arabia, in Hijaz. This is the Google Earth picture where you can see some hills, some mountains left from there, and also some structures left from there from the time of Salih alayhi salam. This is also in Madain Salih. This palace is called Qasrul Bint, the palace of the daughter. Wallahu alam who put this name, or who named this place as the palace of daughter. But this is one of the structures that remained from the time of Salih alayhi salam. So I would say it's probably 5,000 years old at least from the time of Salih alayhi salam. These are the pictures of some date trees that have fallen due to a storm or due to something. The reason why I wanted to show you this picture, so you can picture what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran about the people of Salih alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَتَرَى الْقَوْمَ فِيهَا صَرْعًا كَأَنَّهُمْ أَعْجَازُ نَخْلٍ خَاوِيَةٍ. So you see the people after the day of Adab, you see the nation of Salih alayhi salam dead, gone. And the bodies, the corpses of those people, they were lying on the ground as if they were fallen trees, fallen palm trees. And this is how the fallen trees look like. First of all, these trees are massive. They're tall, very tall. And when they fall like this. And this is a picture that you can have in your mind in envisioning what they were like on the day after Adab. And this is another another shoot-off branch of Salih alayhi salam's people, Thamud. This is in Petra. This is also Madain Salih. And this place, it says mosque and tomb of Prophet Shuaib alayhi salam. Regarding the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam, there are two places where people say his grave is. There's one place in Jordan, and many people go there and visit the grave, a tomb, and they believe that is the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam. And it is likely that Shuaib alayhi salam, because Jordan is not too far from where he lived, where Madian is, so maybe he migrated from there, he went to Jordan and he died over there. But another report says that he died in Yemen, which is all the way on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula, all the way on the other side of Hijaz. And there's a place near Hadramaut, a famous city in Yemen, and they say there's a grave on the hill. There's a mountain. It's called the Mountain of Shuaib, and on that mountain there's a grave, there's a tomb, and that tomb is also called the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam. And this is a sign leading to that in Yemen. Masjid wa maqamu nabiyillah ta'ala Shuaib alayhi salam. So Allahu alam, which one is right? It appears that both graves belong to some a saint. One of them could be the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam. One of the famous historians of Islamic history, Abdul Wahab Najjar, who was a great scholar as well, he said, when he went to this grave, he said, my suspicion is that this is the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam. He did not cite any proof. He was a great historian and great scholar, but he said, my judgment is that, my guess is that this is the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam. And this is the inside of the grave of Shuaib alayhi salam, inside the tomb, inside the grave, inside the room. And this is an aerial picture of the Dead Sea. This is another aerial picture of Dead Sea. And this is another map picture of the Dead Sea. So you see on the side there's Sodom. It says Sodom, this was the town, one of the towns of Lut alayhi salam, and Gomorrah on this side, Zor, Sodom, Gomorrah, and there are some other towns as well in this same area. This is a picture from a stone in Madain Salih, where Salih alayhi salam lived, and where the people of Salih alayhi salam, Thamud, lived. They say that people believe that this is the same stone from which the camel appeared. Allahu A'lam, whether it is, and I'm sure the stone from which the camel appeared is still there, because stones don't die. So they say that they did some scan on the stone, and this is what it looks like. They say it appears that this was the stone from which the camel came out, and this has like that graph of the camel. And this is another picture of that big stone. They believe that this is the stone from where the camel of Salih alayhi salam came out. Allahu A'lam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Any questions?
So, the people of Lut, they were like about 4 million, right?
Yeah.
And then, but they all get punished. Was it like a woman there? Were they also bad women?
Of course, they were women.
But were they doing the same thing that the
Yes, they were doing the same thing.
What about visitation to these places?
If you're going to visit these places to learn a lesson, then it's fine. But these are not the tourist places. These are not the places where you should go and have a camp there to do the sightseeing and all of that. If you want to go there to learn a lesson, that these were the people who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they met this fate because of their disobedience, and we should not follow their footstep, and that's fine.
After the Lut left to his family, when did he go?
He went to Ibrahim alayhi salam,
Okay.
his uncle.
Yes, Jazakallah khair.
Well, yeah.
You said that Lut was a foreigner from the
Yes.
place he lived, but in Surah Shuaib, كذبت قوم لوط المسلمين, Allah says, قالوا أخوهم.
Yeah. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, referred to Lut alayhi salam as your brother, because in that surah, that's the pattern that's going. So maybe it's following that pattern. But Lut alayhi salam was not from that nation, was not, and I will check up on that for more answers as well, inshallah. And I'll present it next week, inshallah.
Is it Shuaib alayhi salam that was like affected by that disease too? No? The prophet was affected with the disease and was very patient.
Ayyub alayhi salam.
Ayub.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد افضل صلواتك اللهم انا نسالك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى اللهم انا نسالك العفو والعافيه والمعافاه الدائمه في الدين والدنيا والاخره اللهم حبب الينا الايمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره الينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين اللهم استر عوراتنا وامن روعاتنا اللهم احفظنا من بين ايدينا ومن خلفنا وعن يميننا وعن شمالنا ومن فوقنا وأن نغتال من تحتنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.